Lost in space and time for over 10,000 years, on a mission they were never meant to return from. They have returned from the horrible secrets of space. They are the Comic Shop.
Oh, you got the Twitch up on the stream there? Or no?
You're listening to the Osego Comic Shop does a podcast with me, Aaron Z. Lee, a.k.a.
Uh-oh, hold on one
Untitled.
second. We may need to restart this here. What's going on?
Also, Papa Lee.
Do you have it up in a browser?
A podcast so nice you get to hear it twice.
What the heck?
Hey, why don't we end it real quick?
Please stand by.
Just end it.
Hold on. Why is it? Is it your?
Is it me?
Is it your phone?
No.
It was your phone.
I was because I went and copied the link, and I guess it must have just been running.
Oh my god!
Wow. Do we want to start over?
No.
Aaron, just reintroduce our series. That's embarrassing. Lucas.
I thought it was me. I'm like, no way.
Well, no, because I just went and copied the link. Wow, we're off to a rockin' start. Aaron, who are we?
You're listening to the Osego Comic Shop does a podcast with me, Aaron Z. Lee.
I'm Lucas Brewer.
And I am thoroughly embarrassed, Evan Coy, who led that whole audio debacle there. So thank you for joining us.
It's a
Thank
podcast so nice you get to hear it twice.
Word to your mother.
That's right. That's right. If it rhymes,
Shout out to
Have some
me
lines.
screwing up the podcast immediately.
Shout out.
oh, my wife enjoyed that. It was
Yes.
fun. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It was
Shout
fun.
out to Aaron's wife.
A shout out to my newborn daughter Lucy.
Shout out.
Shout out to Tootsie, my firstborn
Tootsie.
for baby.
Love Tootsie. We had her on the show once. Hopefully we will again.
Oh, I'd love to have Tootsie on the show
That'd
again.
be cool.
Aaron, what have you been up to?
Me, changing diapers, making formula, trying to solve why she's crying and trying to figure out what I can do to assuage the crying. That's been my mission day in day out. I've been doing a little bit of drawing too, because when you're holding a baby in this arm, hey, we got another arm over here. We can hold a pencil in this
Multitasking.
arm. So
I feel like that's what you have to do as a parent. You have to learn to multitask.
yes.
Because you're always going to be juggling things.
So I've been able to get work done here and there for various things.
For your Wesley?
I've been getting some of that done.
Wesley? When, are you back to work yet?
No, I'm taking 6 consecutive weeks. I thought about it,
Oh,
and
wow.
with everything that's going on, and it's available to me as an employee. So
Oh, that's sweet.
anybody else who's rational would do that. I think
Yeah.
many of us, probably a lot of people even listening now, like if you're not overachieving, you feel like you're failing. You know what I mean? Like if you're not like sacrificing like the benefits of the things that you earn, then you feel like you're somehow not fulfilling your responsibilities. But it's just like, hold up,
Lucas-
we got a baby in the mix.
Lucas, that's a very adult thing that Aaron is bringing
Should
up
I
here.
take a note or
You
something?
should take a note. Don't ever let your employer not use the benefits that they're giving to you. Don't ever feel guilty for taking time off or doing what you need to do. A job is a job. And that's what I think Aaron's trying to say is like sometimes you feel guilty taking that time off, and there's in no way should you feel guilty at all.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. And it took me a while
And it does.
to get there.
When I was in my 20s and things like that, yeah, I thought that sacrificing all of my time to do something for work was going to benefit me in some way, shape, or form. No, they're just taking advantage of you. So that's something to think about.
Lowe's
Yeah,
would never do that.
and my
to
daughter's
me.
going to be my daughter forever. So all of this time that I get to spend with her and take care of her is
That's awesome.
is well worth it. Well worth
I
it.
think it's good too with like COVID and stuff. You don't want to, kids are nasty. Let's be honest.
I wasn't
You
going to
know.
spell it out exactly like that. but
Especially
that,
your
that was
middle
a big.
schoolers. Oh, disgusting.
Well, I don't want to say anything disparaging, but my worst case scenario would be like I would get it from work.
Right,
And then bring
yeah.
it home.
Yeah.
And the worst, like, it would be bad to not be able to care for her, but it would be even worse if I accidentally gave it to her.
Right, I know that'd be just
That
awful.
would be terrible. So I am thinking about her safety more
Yeah.
so than
and
other
that's what you
stuff.
got to do now as a parent, right?
That's right.
Child
That's right.
comes first.
That's right.
Papa Lee.
Papa Lee in the house.
Responsibility.
Papa Lee in the
Listen
house.
to Papa Lee talk about responsibility.
Lucas, what you been up to?
I
I feel
started.
like my mic sounds weird, but go ahead.
I started school last week, so this is my second week of school. It's exciting. Taking mostly intro classes to broadcasting and communication and stuff.
Excellent.
And it's, they're intro classes, so they're big lectures. They're not what I'm kind of used to, which is smaller, more, intimate.
Like a studio type class.
Yeah, kind of like a studio, which honest to God, I think for the most part, at least this fall, previous fall, I mean, that's really all my classes were kind of more intimate studio, filmmaking classes, but now it's
Yes.
more, back to freshman year where it's big lecture halls and
Back to basics.
I don't even know the
Intro.
teachers' names or, whatever. And it's fine and all. It's going to be two easy classes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm doing 2 film classes, my last 2 cinema classes, and I'm done with cinema.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so
it's gotta be bittersweet.
yeah, a bit. It sucks too because I feel like with COVID and stuff, I really got just hit.
That brings up an interesting thing. I think that, Aaron, your students are getting screwed right now because of how things are with COVID.
Yeah.
Lucas is a college kid, and you've had a couple years of college in the before times,
Right, yeah.
and now you've had a couple years of college during COVID. Do you feel like your education has been affected, like negatively?
I do for cinema. I definitely do. Because a lot of times with cinema projects, it's a collaborative effort to make a film. Chances are it's not just you, and you can do that over virtually, I guess, but it's tough, especially when you want to do something not necessarily on a larger scale, but with a crew, and you kind of want to simulate what it's like to be on an actual film set. That was tough, and I got that a little bit this previous fall with cinema and intermediate cinema production with my Professor Adams. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Professor
Very
Adam.
cool guy. But yeah, other than that, I especially last year, all my classes were pretty much virtual. Besides, I think 1, maybe two, I think. But then I think they went all online. So I definitely got kind of screwed there.
Not everybody can make like a Paranormal Activity online movie or like Unfriended. Like that gimmick only goes.
You
so
only
far.
really can do it once, and then that's it. But before COVID and stuff, I was doing, just gen ed stuff, right? So
Okay.
it wasn't stuff I really cared too much about,
I see.
and so to me, it didn't really matter. Like I was learning. I passed all classes. I've never failed a college class. I don't think I've ever failed a class at all. Actually,
I know someone who's failed a couple college classes.
Who's that?
Me.
Have you?
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely.
I got really depressed my sophomore year of college, and I ended up dropping out for a while. I sat in
It's
bed.
tough.
I sat in bed for like 2 months. It was great.
Yeah.
My freshman year, if my grades were like an airplane, I definitely was like, let's go. But then at the last second, I like pulled like the throttle or whatever, the steering wheel, and I'm like, and it was like the whole airplane was shaking. It's like, okay, we're getting back on track now.
With COVID and all too, I noticed like my work ethic, kind of, took a hit. And even today, like I'm still trying to get back to where I was, where it's like, I can work 7-8 hours and still be good. But yeah, that definitely took a hit, from, work ethic for like homework, and then also, at jobs here, Lowe's, whatever, you name it.
Do we need to have a performance discussion?
We've had that in the past, and I think I've been better. But if you feel different, you let me know. I know you will. Some random.
I didn't want to bring it up on the podcast, but your work here has. No. I'm just kidding.
It's awkward podcast. What's in the box?
Yeah. But no, I've been getting better with like work ethic and stuff, and like I said, before pre-COVID, I was always a good kid.
Lucas, I'm going to pay you a compliment, which it pains me to do.
Oh,
But
God,
you've been very focused. I feel like this year. I think that
Yeah, I've been trying it.
I think that
especially,
since you came back from winter break,
Yeah.
what has it been? 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
it's been longer than that.
But I feel like you're much more focused on like trying to be a better person, be a more productive person. Aaron immediately laughed at being a better person.
Well, I just didn't have this like thing of like Lucas like an all white suit just like descending like an escalator with like a fountain behind him. He's like, I've returned. I've returned.
No, I mean, I definitely, it's kind of cheesy. I didn't make like a New Year's resolution because I don't really believe in that type of stuff. Like, I think
You don't believe in New Year's?
I don't believe in New Year's.
Well, I believe in
just
my
a hoax.
birthday, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. But no, I think New Year's resolutions they just don't work out. So I didn't really make one, but I did want to make new changes in my life to better me. I've been eating healthier. I quit soda. I was drinking soda all the time here. You know that I spent.
You spent nothing because
didn't
you would just
spend
drink all
anything, right.
of our soda.
I spent your money,
Which is okay because I don't drink soda really.
You can switch over to Tab
Yeah, I guess. But I've been drinking.
Tab.
because it's sugar free.
Well, I don't even think Tab's still around.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure Tab's around. I don't think it's very
Barely.
popular.
You guys don't have
I don't
Tab?
think.
Huh?
You guys don't have Tab?
Well, soda right now is actually there's a weird one. Soda right now is very limited in terms of selection you can get.
Oh,
Just like everything else. Let's talk about impending doom.
Yeah, please.
I noticed the potato chip vendor at Stewart's, the Lay's vendor comes, and there's really only everything is filled up after release, but there's only like 4 varieties of chips he puts out: the regular, the salt and vinegar, a Dorito, and one other barbecue or something like that. All the other varieties of Lay's have gone away, and very similar in soda as well. Do we have a comment?
It's
Well, we have
I
a
Bad
ring.
Why You Mad has said good evening,
sure who
and
that is.
Who is I bad? Why you mad?
I really don't know.
I think it's the actor who plays Dexter
Could be.
on Showtime.
Shout out to our celebrity
we have a
Michael C.
commenter,
Hall.
Sweet.
Michael C. Hall.
Then we have John saying Lucas the White.
Because it's my reference of Lucas in an all white suit descending
Right,
an
yeah.
escalator.
Wait,
Maybe some
I think
fireworks going off too.
He may be also referencing Lord of the Rings there.
Yes.
Because you got Gandalf the Gray and then Gandalf the White.
Oh,
so I think maybe
okay.
that's-
Okay, I
Like,
follow.
But like 2021 was, Lucas the Gray. Now 2022, Lucas the White.
I'm just very excited. Is there a revelation in the chat as to who I bad? Why you mad is?
No, Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid,
I love.
Who the hell's Randy Quaid?
He's
Dennis Quaid's brother.
yes, he's a Looney Tune. Right? I think he is. Is he hiding from the U.S. government at this point in time?
I don't know.
This is Dennis Quaid's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the guy with a good smile, Dennis Quaid.
yeah. Aaron, you would. I'm pretty sure.
They were. Randy Quaid was the cousin or the brother.
Cousin
in,
Eddie.
cousin
in,
Eddie in
Christmas
National-
Vacation.
Yeah, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
He comes up with the trailer.
Right? No, I know who that
Shitter's
is.
full.
That's him.
Yes,
That's not Dennis Quaid's brother.
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
No way. They don't look anything alike.
Yes, they do. They do.
He's very off the deep. Yes, he's like a big conspiracy theory guy.
He's a real method
He would-
actor.
He
But
was
is it
he
a
was.
performance or is it?
I don't know. I think he's really, you
Yeah.
know, off the meds.
Jeez, poor guy.
All right, this is an interesting sidebar.
Yeah.
Layla Starr.
Oh yeah.
Let's get that going.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we just have to adjust the document camera here.
Document
a bit.
cam. Oh hey, that's not too bad.
Layla
Can we,
Starr.
can we rotate?
I don't know. Some of those chords are pretty tight.
Yeah, it's kind of
Tight.
maybe tough.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
there we
not-
go.
That's not too bad.
No, that's good.
Layla
let's
Starr.
start.
So this
Layla
trade came into the
Many deaths.
shop a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think.
And
a
this book
couple.
was relatively popular. I didn't read any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was working here when the entire run came out, and then I don't know. I think I was watching some YouTube video, and they said it's a really good book. Check it out. And I said, okay, I will. And I saw it in the shop. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna put this in my pull box. And I
Any way
bought
we
it.
can work on the glare with that, or like if you tilt it, give it a little tilt-a-roo, or is that just gonna
Tilt.
make it worse?
We can tilt.
All right.
We can tilt and zoom.
So yeah, I started reading this. I bought it this previous Friday from the comic shop, Oswego Comic Shop. I don't think there's any nudity in it, besides maybe that.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I was about to return.
It's got
it,
some
honestly.
stylish artwork in there.
I love the colors. That's one thing I wanted to know. The coloring is fantastic. I expect because I've only read really the first issue.
Some nice pastels.
You wanted to talk about it, but then you didn't read
Ooh.
it. Thanks.
Well,
Lucas.
David
there's a lot I
Mack.
can talk about off of one issue.
It's a David Mack variant cover.
David Mack, shout out.
I love me some David Mack.
I don't know.
Lucas,
who
do you
that
know
is.
David? Okay, I was going to say.
Well, he uses a lot of watercolors.
Shout out.
He does.
Love me some watercolor.
Classic mid to late 90s covers from David Mack.
Like Kabuki,
Kabuki,
Daredevil,
Yep.
Echo. He did a bunch of stuff with Marvel later on.
Yeah, I always think of Marvel Knight stuff, I guess.
Echo. That's going to be a Disney Plus show, actually.
Yes, I might have like her first appearance somewhere, but I'm not. I'm not really a
rich.
speculator guy,
Oh,
so I don't really.
Rich.
I feel like once you go down that road, like it's like the Jedi or it's like the Sith. Like happiness is not down that road. Like just read comics to enjoy them. Like if you like
Yeah,
the
I
story, if you
agree.
like the artwork,
I agree 100%.
Please.
don't get caught up in buying things because you think it's going to be worth something.
No,
Because
yeah. I mean, that's what happened in the 90s with Image, right?
that's correct. Well, with Image and many other
right,
things.
yeah. You
Death
know,
of Superman.
what is Randy Quaid saying in the chat?
As a younger person, I was once told I resembles a young Randy Quaid. John confirmed it was Daredevil, yep. And then he also said he did, I think, all the art in the Fight Club comics.
the covers? He corrected himself.
Yes,
Covers,
I was going
okay.
to say somebody brought their Fight Club 2 collection in the other day that wanted to sell, and I was like, if you go through the quarter bins, we have so many of those Fight Club 2 books with the
What's
Nice.
up with Fight Club 2? Why is that a thing?
Chuck Palahniuk. I'm going to say his name wrong. Chuck Palahniuk. Does that sound correct?
I think you're right.
I think I'm close. Chuck
Ooh, these colors
Palahniuk
are
did a
beautiful right
sequel.
here.
Told you,
Did a
man,
sequel to
colors
Fight
are
Club.
Great.
Did a sequel to Fight Club that was a comic. So
Is it canon?
I assume so. It's
Yeah.
it's the author.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, David Mack also did an art
Shout
show where his artwork was featured alongside Gustav Klimt, since a long time deceased Austrian painter, one of my favorite artists ever.
Aaron, you bring him up every once in a
Who
while.
is
I
it?
really should know more of his stuff.
I like those Austrians, man. Him and Egon Schiele, the other person who's in this art show with.
Is he the Ghostbuster?
No.
Oh, that's
no.
Egon Spangler. I'm sorry.
Yeah, another wrong Egon, but it's still an Egon.
That's a cool name, Egon.
Yeah, what kind of name is Egon?
I'm
That's
gonna name my
I like
dog
it.
that Egon.
I'm
Look at a
not
dog.
going to fight you on that. I think it's a cool name.
I'm gonna name a dog.
But
that.
but David Mack did a show with artwork that they had produced. So like, can you imagine being? I mean, those other two artists are like some of my art heroes. Can you imagine being a living artist where your work is shown in a show alongside like giants?
a
in art
living
history?
comic book artist.
Yes.
Whose art is being shown alongside. Yeah.
Like that's just wild. I'm not sure how long ago that happened, but it definitely happened. That would have been a really cool show to see.
I like my camera shot because now I'm just looking at the TV and it looks like I'm craning my neck every time you put the camera on me. So I'm going to move that over a little bit.
You move it out
There you go.
more.
Great line art on this. Great color on this. I'm not sure exactly what's happening in the story. Seems like
So I'll give you a little synopsis. So pretty much, I don't know if it follows any particular religion. I don't know, but there's death. There's God, pretty much, and God essentially this God character, I guess you could say, fires death because the
Humanity is on the verge of discovering immortality.
the human that is going to discover immortality is born. So God's like, death, we don't need you anymore. You're fired. And
Which
so-
means the avatar of death is out of a job? Or is she?
Well, she sets out to kill this person. She says, I'm going to go be mortal and kill this person that's going to invent immortality so that way I can still have a job. So that's kind of where I'm at with the story. I don't want to give anything spoiling away for the first issue, but that's kind of the synopsis. And yeah, I really enjoy it so far. I think it's super interesting. I think it's a one-off too, so once you buy that, it's
Yeah, I think it's
Complete
just
story.
5 issues.
complete. Yeah.
look
So-
at this nice color trapping with like the line art in the background. The lines are different color than the foreground colors. I love to see that.
You
That
got-
is nice.
yeah,
If
that's-
Philippe
that's
Andrade is the artist, do you know who colors that?
It might be the same.
It might be the
person.
same person. That's
But let
kind of
me-
what I'm thinking too.
I love the
Illustrated
looking
by
up.
Philippe. Color assist by
assist.
Inez Amaro. Color assist.
I don't know them.
I don't know either.
What's Ram V done?
What has Ram
That's a
V
good
done?
question. On the
Because-
back it says These Savage Shores and Swamp Thing.
Gravity's Wall, Death of Lalia Star, the Eisner winning Blue and Green. I don't know that
I
at
don't
all.
know that.
He's a relatively new guy. I think he's only been around since like
I've heard some good
2016.
buzz, though, from
he's done a ton of DC stuff. I don't think he's done. Well, maybe he's done some other indie stuff too, but like just primarily DC, I think is his main work. But yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This is I feel like just a smaller indie book that
Boom Studios picked up.
It needs some more love because it's a really good book so far.
Boom Studios, they put out a lot of good stuff too.
They do. I mean,
We talk about this. The production value in all these indie books is tremendous. That like Image kind of led the path 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
But I think in the past 5 or so years, you have all these cool studios like Boom,
Aftershock.
Aftershock. I think Aftershock does great.
I love
comics.
Aftershock.
Great stuff.
And I still think Image does great looking books.
I
There's
think-
there's so many talented artists and writers out there, and it's so cool. Lucas, you're living in a great time of comics. That
I know.
when Aaron and I were kids,
Indie comics, I feel like.
when Aaron and I were kids, like indie books existed, but they were like the darker, weird black and white stuff for
The underground stuff.
yeah. And it wasn't until like the early '90s, I think, that when everybody left to do Image, like it opened up this whole other world. But even Image at the beginning was just a bunch of superhero books.
Right.
Yes.
Image wasn't like books like, and I know Lolly Star is not an Image book, but like
Layla Star.
Layla. Oh, I'm going to say that wrong. So we've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Oh, you
here
only
at
said
the
it
shop.
wrong once before.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you keep correcting me because I've been saying it wrong in the shop as well because I've been putting the I in the wrong place. So, but anyway, all of these great indie books, these didn't really exist when we were kids.
There's
Yeah.
some permutation of the superhero genre.
Layla Star.
Or sometimes some indie sensibilities will creep their way into like a superhero book, where it would creep in like little slice of life stuff in X-Men or Spider-Man or stuff like that would kind of creep
interesting.
in around the edges. Like Nova, the Human Rocket. Did you read Eric Larson's run on that?
Of course I did.
Yeah, so that was a book I picked up back in the day too. So there was like some domestic violence and stuff
With,
towards the end of that.
Namorita there, or whatever her name is.
Well, I think it was like a girl that Rich Rider was interested in. Her boyfriend was kind of abusive, and then he stepped in, but then ended up making it worse. And I think it just kind of ended unceremoniously after that.
7 issues.
Yeah, I think I have them all.
Joe Bennett drew
Yep.
that book. Yeah, that was a disappointing book. I felt like that was really a passion project that
Yeah.
would have liked to see go a few more issues because I think it did get the can or the X very quickly, and he kind of just had to wrap it up.
Yeah, but
Eric
like
Larson.
those
It's your
kind of
man, right?
sensibilities of some kind of indie or like some kind of like drama or something beyond just the normal like fights would creep into the superhero stuff. It wasn't until I don't even know when I picked up my first indie book, but then that like just like blew the door open on like
Right.
what you could do on all
Yeah,
different comics,
totally.
and then dig back through like a whole bunch of black and white stuff. I'm always like on the lookout or the hunt for weird stuff I haven't seen before, and I think I'll be able to show off some of that stuff today.
Sweet.
Aaron, what else you got?
Let's see.
So, I'm a part of this cartoonist kayfabe ringside seats
Shout
group.
out.
Yeah, they're great. I love
Love
to do.
cartoonists and
They
kayfabe.
put on great events. They put on great, just kind of talks with comic professionals and like seminars, or I'm not sure exactly, the symposiums where you can just hang out with professionals and ask them questions and stuff. They do amazing stuff. It's like my favorite Facebook group because there's actually like good, decent humans that you can interact with who are also passionate about comics. I love it.
It's always nice, right?
You've tried to get me to join a few times, and I haven't.
Well, it's okay. You're a busy guy. You got stuff to do. But one of the members of this group is Jonathan Kosiuba. I'm not picking on you.
Oh, no, we were laughing about a different Aaron.
Okay. Anywho,
Continue.
this guy posts his artwork on there, and he had a recent deal where if you bought issue 1 and 2 of his book called The Fly Trap, he would do a free drawing for you. So of course I had to
Oh, hey-oh.
get a free drawing of Wesley and Beatrice, and I love how this looks. And he's gonna let me reproduce this and print it in the Wesley stuff too. So this
Oh, that's sweet.
this print will be, and I'll advertise his books too on that page. But that'll be this.
Oh, I thought that was Iron Man and Pepper Potts.
no,
Oh wait, that's not.
no, different characters.
Oh, Wesley.
Wesley the robot.
That's dope,
and
though.
Beatrice.
That's a really cool drawing.
Yeah, and it's really flipping good, and it was free just for buying the first 2 issues. So this is like a horror book that he puts together with Eddie Mumford, who's the writer, and it's like a cyberpunk black and white. I love it.
I love the black and white.
He uses Clip Studio to do this stuff. It's like a cyberpunk horror story with like an apocalyptic future, but then some stuff happens in the story, and you're not sure if it's really in the future or if it's like somebody who's experiencing hallucinations. And it all ties together. It's kind of like an Outer Limits or a Twilight Zone type story, where it seems to be all the same characters who are kind of recast in different roles. I mean, there's only 2 issues so far, but it's kind of like American Horror Story in that way, where like the physical appearance of some of the characters reappears in other stories, but the stories are not the same world. Mm-hmm. If you're following me there.
No, I got you.
Like this young guy in the story, he was in this one too, but this is in like an apocalyptic future, and this just seems like it's, could be regular times. There's some violence and stuff in here, but just some great illustration, great storytelling, and the square format is really interesting.
I was going to ask about that. That's kind of an interesting. Comics don't have to be the same size.
No, and I think maybe it was with consideration for posting on the web, but I can't be sure. And it might be self-printed too. I'm not sure where they went for.
So this isn't
for fulfillment.
This isn't a web comic.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that he's posted some stuff on the web.
This is just an Aaron Zealey from another state doing another book. Kind of publishing his own thing.
I love that stuff.
There's a horror book series, anthology series. I think you would really like.
Yeah.
I think it's called Through the Woods.
Maybe.
And it's formatted like that. It's not the regular size.
It's not like the musical, right?
No.
Because I tried to watch the musical. It's like
not.
Johnny Depp is a werewolf or whatever. And I was like, I'm in. And then he was in it for 2 seconds, and it was just James Corden going, we're going into the woods.
Yeah, no.
We're going into the woods. And it's like, okay, what are we doing in the woods? He's like, we're going there.
It's not that.
It's like,
I believe I think it's Through the Woods. I read it in Michael Rach's, shout out to him, his graphic novel, his graphic storytelling class, which I really enjoyed. That was the first book we actually read. And it was
so
a web
jealous.
comic that got made. It was so popular as a web comic, it got made into a physical book. And
Sluggy Freelance.
Oh,
That's the only webcomic I know. It's like a 90s one.
no, yeah.
I did.
And I think it's formatted like this.
I have seen some stuff at Barnes & Noble where things are advertised as like the #1 hit on Webtoon now. And
Yeah, I think it
No,
was
in print.
Webtoon maybe. But yeah, it's and the art is really, it's simple, but it's really good. I really enjoy it. So I would recommend checking that out.
what is it? Elegance is the absence of complexity.
Yeah, I'll send you a link because we
Whoa,
broke down.
hold on. I want to hear that again.
Oh,
Elegance is the absence of complexity.
break that down for us.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's like if something is like really elegantly designed, then it just works. It just works. It's got everything it needs to function
I agree.
optimally.
I think simple is better.
I like complex at times.
Me too.
I have a fight back and forth between like the music that I listen to.
Yeah.
Not a good sound.
Yeah. I love, and Aaron, we're of a similar, like the electronic music that we listen to. Yes, we listen to a lot of ambient, a lot of arpeggio, melodic, soft pads, but I like a lot of electronic too that's like very skittish.
Like Billy Joel and stuff like that.
Like Billy Joel.
Do you like Billy Joel or?
He's
No,
fine. He's fine.
He's okay. But like the aggressive, I always think of like the aggressive Aphex Twin,
Yeah.
Square Pusher.
I was just listening to the Presets on my way here. Do you know them?
I do not know
You
them.
know, Australian band. They do songs, but they do some really interesting
We lost Lucas.
electronic stuff. Still very pop based, but they do some cool stuff. Apocalypso, highly recommend that if you want to check that out.
But the complex, then I also feel like I like things that are simple as well, that I find like a lot of indie rock, like where it's just a guitar and a dude singing or whatever, or guitar, and like where there is a elegance to that too. So I go back and forth between like, I like music that challenges me. It's like totally over the top and crazy, and the production is nuts, and it's just like this schizophrenic, skittish, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And also just a simpler, like more melodic, straightforward Billy Joel.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's exactly like in art. I always think of like a virtuoso painting where you're getting every single highlight and every single kind of render in there, versus like doing a more graphic kind of image where you're playing off of people's understanding of symbols, and just communicating, like, and not overdoing it, but also like really amping up the contrast and amping up those symbols so there's no mistaking what you're doing. And I think I've talked about this before on the show, but like when I'm working on stuff, those two things are always fighting, where I want all that detail and I want all that virtuoso level stuff, but it's like but then it's like, but we're telling a story here. Let's use the symbols, and it's. But I think that's true of anybody who's doing artwork, is the kind of going back and forth between those two things, which, is what makes it interesting, is where how far we land on that scale.
Shout out to Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Aaron, what's in the box?
What? Quick question for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Have you ever seen Billy Joel in concert?
No.
Okay. Not once?
No.
Do you ever want to, or
I don't really do concerts.
why not?
Yeah, especially now.
I saw Billy Joel in concert. It was pretty cool.
You had to drag us through that to get to I saw Billy Joel in concert.
Yeah. I used to be a big Billy Joel fan. Now I'm not. His music's okay.
The last show I saw before the world went into free fall or whatever was I saw Interpol at the Town Ballroom in Buffalo. Great venue, Town Ballroom.
I'm pretty sure Billy Joel's the only concert, like a big concert I've ever been to.
I'm not really into stadium concerts.
Yeah, well, it gets me anxious. I don't
Well,
like
it's just like
people.
I feel like the tickets are very expensive and the experience is not as great.
We because it was I went, I think it was 2015, 2014 is one of the two, and it was a Christmas gift from Santa for my family, because me and my brother were big Billy Joel fans at the time.
Are you really a Billy Joel fan, or is this all a bit?
No, I swear to
If
God.
it's a bit, it's a great bit.
I swear to
We
God,
didn't start the
it was from Santa Claus. He was playing in at the Dome in Syracuse.
I think I remember that.
Me and my family of 5, we went, and we didn't have really good seats, but it was awesome. We were jamming to Only the Good Die Young.
What's in the box?
All right, so I pulled out. Let's see. Can we?
I don't know.
I can kind of finagle it here. So this is the box that we've assembled. So
We should pull out just like not
Just like a handful of stuff.
no, just do like just the center pick, pull it out. That way you're not picking just from the front.
oh well, this is
I do want to see this though.
but this is a book I picked up, I think, from Forbidden Planet, also in 2015 when I went on a mini moon with my wife to New York City, because we got married and she was just going to go right back to work, and I was like, no, we're going to take a week off and go to New York City.
Always use your time off, Lucas.
Yeah.
Don't get time off here.
No.
But so we went to Forbidden Planet, and they had a small selection of indie stuff, and I love robots, I love cyborgs, all that kind of stuff. So this jumped right out at me.
You love robots?
Yes.
Oh.
Who would have thought?
Cyber Realm by Ren Mcdonald, published by No Brow. I'm not sure what else they've published, but I really enjoyed this. It's this was made in part with a grant. So it's a story of
A robot.
it's this guy whose family gets killed, and then these cyborg parts get attached to him, and that allows him to enact revenge on the people who killed his family. It's essentially a spin on like the Punisher, but with robotic parts and a bit of AI, which is a threat to him as well as everyone else.
The artwork reminds me of like Adventure Time, like the
Yeah,
traditional Adventure
a little bit.
Time.
It's got a bit of that flair to it, but
Yeah, especially that shot right there for some reason.
but like great color, great line work, and a nice.
I like the lettering too. The
Yeah.
lettering looks really good.
It's a nice, succinct story. I love these, like, what are these, like 12-panel grids for the most part that are broken out a bit more. Great colors. I enjoyed this quite a bit. It's an easy, quick read, a lot of fun. Super Jail. Yeah, it is kind of like Super Jail. Yeah. So, you want me to just grab a random one out now?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Daredevil. Truth or Dare.
Martin threw a
Martin
random
by
Daredevil trade in
Zdarsky.
there.
Ooh, there's some other good stuff in here too. Yeah, so let's take a look at this thing. So Truth or Dare. I've heard good things about the Zdarsky run.
They
of
just kind
Daredevil.
of rebooted Daredevil.
Again?
Zdarsky's still
Yeah.
writing it, but I
With
think
Elektra.
Yeah, I think it.
Pants.
We love pants. Ooh.
Not
Side
not
note
so
about
much,
Daredevil. Spoiler alert for No Way Home. He makes his return. Charlie Cox, a fantastic actor who portrays Daredevil.
Uh-huh.
And there's a rumor going around that he will be daunting in future projects his yellow Daredevil suit.
You mean donning?
Donning.
What'd I say?
Daunting.
Whatever.
Donning the yellow suit? Why would they do that?
I
though?
don't know. I'm intrigued, though.
Unless it's like a reboot from like the early Daredevil days. You know what I
We'll
mean?
see.
And then it grows into that.
But yeah, so that's kind of the buzz around. And I think he's getting his own. I really want him to do his own movie, but I don't know if they'll do that.
I love these kind of like characters, like just figure work on a blank background. Because this is stuff I'm trying to figure out for Wesley 9. And I'm always looking at and seeing if there's anything I can steal. Because if you find something that works, just steal it. That's my philosophy.
That's what people do all the time.
Plagiarism.
Well, I mean,
Well, I
you're
mean-
putting your own characters in it and changing it
No.
to make it work for your own purposes.
Someone just told me that too, actually. I think it was you.
What?
If it works, take it. You told me that because you were giving me advice about the comic I'm writing, and you were like,
Oh, it wasn't good advice.
Ooh.
I mean,
No, we were
multi-
we were talking about because there was a concept that you were riffing off of,
right.
and it's kind of one of those things. I feel like, you know what? There's no real original ideas, and everything's
No.
been done a million
No,
times
right,
over.
yeah, 100%.
So, like, if you have something that works, if somebody has something that works that appeals to you, and you want to put your twist on it, put your twist on it,
Yeah. And you can, you
and then just
kinda said
claim ignorance when you're sued.
that. You're not gonna get sued.
Well, there's so many things in Wesley
Wait, well,
9.
what was, I missed the.
So I pulled out the man thing.
Man
Hell
Thing.
hath no fury. Number
Who
2.
is also supposed to make his MCU debut soon.
Yeah, I watched. Did you watch the old Man Thing movie?
No, we should.
There's it's a B movie, but it's a newer one. It's actually not bad. I mean, but if you like B movies, it's entertaining because it's like a B horror movie. I love the Man Thing design with those like red eyes that are reflective. It's kind of like Marvel's Swamp Thing, but mindless. Oh, is this a 1970s book? 1974.
Really?
70s Marvel. It's like the printing technology was still, or not the technology, but like they put more money into the printing. I think it was a bit more expensive to print, so you get better looking books in the 70s. And the 70s were kind of a tumultuous time for Marvel. So if you got some writers on there, you could just oh, look at that, there's a little baby in there, kind of like Lucy. But you could get away with way more stuff in the 70s Marvel, which makes it kind of fun. That's why you have like Son of Satan and Man Thing and Werewolf by Night and Morbius and all.
From what I hear, the Werewolf by Night is also going to make his MCU debut.
That could be
Moon
fun.
Knight, they're going to do, what's the team? Midnight Suns?
Suns?
They're going to
Oh.
do a Midnight Suns, either TV show or movie with a Man Thing, Moon Knight.
Aaron not feeling that.
It could be good.
I
I
think
just
it-
remember the actual Midnight Suns that they
weird
published
team.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
There's a new video game coming out, Midnight Suns, actually. It's like a certain type of strategy game, I think, so I'm not going to get it.
I want to love it, but
Aaron, you know what I love about that book the most? It's printed on newsprint, and there's no glare when you're holding it down.
yeah, the matte finish. It's a lost. It's a lost thing. Like the big companies, I feel like always go glossy, and I feel like that's such an odd choice. Ooh, speaking of monsters, let's check that. You want to check out Dracula? Dracula's Secret Cave.
Ooh, little Dell.
Yeah. Oh, look at these covers, man. Like you just don't see like the text like call outs on the side. Like these books look so good and stand out so much. Like I know here's the virtuoso versus the design thing right here.
Yep.
Here's your virtuoso like dynamic pose, angle, in perspective, cutting edge coloring. And then here's your like flat color, chunky letters. This one all day for me.
Yep, I agree. I mean, the Daredevil's beautiful, but that Dracula's something else.
Yeah, it's charm.
Yes.
It's the humanity.
It's the huge manatee.
Or the inhumanity. 'cause
Huge manatee.
Yeah,
Oh, there's got to be a
Dracula
comic that's
is-
featuring a huge manatee. Oh, this is so
I'm
tough to
sure.
open up. Come on. Fingers don't fail me now. All right.
It's cold in here, isn't it?
Turned off the heat because
Uh,
Freezing. Yeah.
I have my hoodie on, so and my hat, so I'm just fine.
I gotta get more thicker sweaters.
Or
Oh,
thicker
look-
skin.
Look at this. Look,
Maybe.
this can be you.
Look at
Add
that.
pounds of solid muscle to chest, back, arms, and wrists. See the amazing difference in just 10 days, or get your money back.
I gotta cut that out so I can.
It's only $1. It's
That's
a bargain and a
freaking
half.
Bargain and a half.
But
yeah.
I love those old ads too, though.
Me too.
And here you get your 6-panel
I
grid.
know. I was about to say.
This is almost Daniel Klaus.
A little bit, right? I can definitely see that.
really
this is a
sticking
great
to the
look.
6-panel grid.
This is a great looking book.
Oh, I thought that was a splash page, but I don't think so.
Just three long vertical
Oh, I
panels.
like that actually.
Old tri-pitch.
No, I love this kind of stuff too. John Byrne does this in his She-Hulk run, where he'll do like a what is it called? A slice.
Yeah.
Slice of life.
Like there's a fancier word for that.
I can't recall it either.
And it'll show like people doing things
Cross-section?
underground. Cross section, yeah. He'll do a cross section and show people doing things underground and all of that stuff. Oh, these things just look so good. I don't know if you did a book like this, it just wouldn't sell. That's what I'm talking about. That's part of the charm too. That's a lot of fun.
Heck?
And like you could almost see like the ink nib or
Is that the
whatever,
bad
or the
guy?
fountain pen that guy's using to make that.
He's just misunderstood. He's not a bad guy.
Well, all the best villains are, right? But like just, I think he's a bad guy. Like look at this panel. That's not good. That's not a good thing there.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
But then we got our hero, this Dracula guy. He's finally showing up. This is a fun little book. I love the irreverence too of certain eras of superheroes. I feel like a lot of the time, like people try to layer on meaning and themes to superhero comics instead of just embracing the silly.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes you can get meaning out of doing something silly.
Well, I think The Watchmen is a great example of just doing something silly.
The Watchmen. What's next?
Billy Joel, the comic book. No, I just.
Is there a Billy Joel comic book?
If there is, we're buying it.
There probably is.
We're going
It's
to the
probably one of those
Google.
unauthorized rock and roll thing. Actually,
I think we all can agree though.
I've been
Billy
going through
Joel.
a bunch of those. I want to show
Billy
off,
Joel is probably the Stanley of music. I mean, by far.
Ooh.
I would say he's the Aaron Lee.
Ooh,
Of
I
music,
bet this
but-
was a Evan pick.
How'd
Did
you
you did you
know?
put this one in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
Dirty Don Simpson.
Don Simpson's bizarre. Oh, just gonna damage all the comics in the box. No.
I
Don't
got a
die.
couple comics in there. I think.
But Bizarre Heroes, Don Simpson, a Pittsburgh guy, right?
I think so.
Featuring the Meddler, which might be a character that's not might be a character that's licensed to him. Here we go, some great black and white stuff. This guy's figure work is really good. His inking is really good. Lettering is excellent. That's okay.
I'll
Can make
cover
some
it
noise.
up.
Look at that, changing the format. This is something I haven't done yet in my comics, but I kind of want to. Let's do a page that's rotated.
That'd be cool.
Never do that.
I
Never do that.
I
No?
do kind of
Never
agree.
do
As a
that.
reader,
No,
I remember in Swamp Thing, the legendary run by Alan Moore. Also another
Stephen
fun.
Bissett, John Tittleben, and Rick Veitch.
Is that the artist on those?
Yeah, it was a
Gotcha.
team because that beautiful book.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And there's I think there's probably a few pages like that where it's flipped, and I hated reading it.
This is why
This Don
This-
Simpson stuff is so great. I love actually Don Simpson's lettering is
Yes.
tremendous. His figure work is excellent, excellent, excellent.
yeah.
He's got such a unique style, but really like his fundamentals are rock solid.
He lettered. Speaking of Alan Moore, he worked with them on their 1963 the Image book.
He did,
I think he
yes.
was a letterer and possibly more.
I know he lettered 1963. I don't remember. It's been. I mean, it's been literally 30 years since I read that
Yeah,
book. 20,
yeah.
28 years. Like, but Don Simpson's lettering, tremendous.
Yeah, it's got I don't know enough about lettering, but I want to say it's got kind of an Artie Simek kind of feel, but that might be the wrong name. But his line work is like it's like right up there with like your Mike Allreds and maybe a little bit more hatching than what they would do. But it's just so clean and sharp, It's just a lot of fun. This is something that I'd be interested to read more of because I hear great things about Bizarre Heroes.
I wish I knew more about Bizarre Heroes. That's one of those books that, like, if I'm digging through a long box and I find a copy of something, I'm grabbing it. But I don't really have many.
And I think it was the victim of the implosion, like the collapse of the comic market in the mid '90s too, because he would do these, but he would sell a very small amount.
Well, he was publishing through Kitchen Sink.
Fiasco Comics.
Kitchen Sink.
Did Kitchen Sink turn into Fiasco? Maybe I'm just
I don't
confused.
know,
Maybe I'm confused.
1994. It's possible that it was Kitchen Sink, or maybe he was self-publishing it or working with a smaller publisher because everything was kind of going belly up at the time. But like, look at that great color work on there. That's just a great looking book. Don Simpson.
Dirty Don Simpson.
Can we get a shout out for Don Simpson?
Sure can.
I wonder what he's doing. I feel like
Maybe dead.
He's got to be.
he might be.
Jeez, I hope not.
Rip.
Went dark there.
He had a good-
Pepperoni for Don Simpson.
Speaking of dead, Wolverine Fatal Attractions #1 with. Okay, but it's the X-Men. It's the X-Men issue. Evan, you're familiar with Fatal Attractions, right?
Barely.
This is when Magneto and the X-Men come to blows once again after many reboots. Look at that, Ben Grimm. It just
That's
feels, I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't like it.
You don't like
Yeah,
it.
I don't like it
I
either.
don't like
I
it.
like it.
Why do you like it?
There's a lot of rocks.
This
And I-
thing rocks.
I like a lot of rocks. No, I don't know. It seems more like monstery to me. You know.
Seems like they're trying to turn him into like Bedrock or something. Doesn't it? Doesn't it
Yes,
feel like
okay, I'll go with
it's
that.
reaching for image when I don't know. I mean, that's what they had to do at this particular time. Is like everybody has left Marvel to form Image, and the Kubert brothers step into the vacuum, and they're pushing the limits. You know, and I bought this when it was coming out, the Fatal Attraction stuff.
Who's it by? Chuck
Fa-
Austin.
Fabian Nicieza.
What are your thoughts on Chuck Austin by chance?
Lucas, we got some stuff in the chat. What's going on in the chat?
Yeah. Plead the fifth.
So Banacor, he's a cinema major.
Got the anabantium out.
He stopped by. My sister is in the chat. She says, "Hi, this is Delaney. That's my sister's name. She'll remember going to the Billy Joel concert and dancing to the Only the Good Die Young. Great song, fantastic song." And then Banacor also says regarding the Thing, he kind of looks like he's made a bunch of melted gold coins, which he kind of does.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He did kind of look like that.
All right, so we got a book that I'm very excited about. Here, I think I purchased this
Also
too.
making his MCU debut soon.
Yeah, Blade, but this even more so. Like I love the character of Blade, but and it took me a while to come around to his classic appearance. But this gentleman right here, Gene Colan, who I speak the praises of quite a lot. Great penciler. I love his stuff. His stuff, if it was printed in just the pencils, it would probably be even better. But great storyteller, great artist. I can't say enough good things about Gene Colan. My wife actually got me. Gene Colan went over to DC in the '80s and did Night Hunters or something like that. I can't remember. Night Force or something like that.
I always forget what that book's called too.
But just a great another like little occult thing. And then this is Gene Colan coming back and working on Blade again in the early '90s, or maybe even mid '90s.
Aaron, we need to add that to the list of podcasts to do. Is to do a Gene Colan deep dive. That would be very interesting to me.
I brought a Gene Colan book too with me today, but I don't think we're going to get to it. But we can leave that for a future thing. Mark Pennington on inks, who worked on Chris Bachalo, I think, and Generation X, or he worked on Chris Bachalo for Ghost Rider 2099. Kind of gave it a grittier look.
Ooh, Ghost Rider 2099. There's a reference.
Yeah, I found that at Ravenswood when they were doing those sales, and I just picked up the entire chunk
Is
of
that-
Ghost Rider 2099.
Is that where Utica? Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I'm from. I was like, Ravenshood. What's it? Ravenshood?
Ravenswood, I think.
Yeah, I'm like,
or
yeah, I know
Ravens something.
Something like that. I'm like, I know that place.
But I bop in there and and bother them whenever I'm up at my
do the
in-laws.
X-Men there.
X-Men?
Yeah, that's because this is my I own this book.
The Triumph of Magneto. Is this Neil Adams?
and
Yes.
I want to know
Neil
more
Adams and
about
Tom
it.
Palmer.
Yeah, because
Some-
I own this.
some,
I got it.
Some heroes of comic book art. Neil Adams and Tom Palmer. Tom Palmer, a celebrated inker of Blade of Gene Colan as well. Probably the best inker to work on him.
Yeah, Tom Palmer's pretty classic to me, but that you
Yeah.
would say best Gene Colan anchor.
Maybe I'm still going through some Doctor Strange stuff.
This is why we need to do a deep dive on it, because I feel like there's some things I know and there's some things I don't.
He's the
know.
ultimate test of an inker. Like if you're a brave inker, you can ink Gene Colan, and then because his pencils are better than your inks could be, so it's like
That's intimidating.
so like it's just what's the least amount you can screw up his artwork.
Ugh, that's intimidating.
Yeah, but Neil Adams, Tom Palmer, embellisher, Sam Rosen. Neil Adams, another really great artist.
I hate the term embellisher.
Why is that?
Yeah, because it kind of has a connotation that what they add is unnecessary.
Yes.
When
That term's not really used in comics anymore, correct? I don't
No.
think that's like an old timey comics term.
no, although I love the interchange. Like in the one thing that you don't see so much in indie comics that you do see in superhero comics is the interchanging of talent and like the finish, like breakdowns and finishes.
Yeah.
And like how the interface of multiple people's talents create a unique product.
Yes.
And that is something that's cool to see. That you, when it's indie, I mean, you don't have the cash to hire somebody else to do the thing, so you got to do it all yourself.
Shout out to Joe Samuels in the chat.
Yeah.
The Deadpool stuff was good. What Deadpool stuff? I was probably going back a few minutes ago.
Fabian Nicieza is a
Yeah.
favorite that was attached to Deadpool. Did he do the Joe Mad stuff and the Ian Churchill stuff? Fabian, probably.
Probably.
Like, this is a good looking book, and this was when it got canceled too, right? This is
Oh.
the Neil. This is before what is it? Second Genesis, right? 1969.
Shout out to 1969.
I love these layouts too. Like this is something you don't see a lot of, but like these giant inviting panels that are kind of at a diagonal. Gene Colan would do these kind of layouts too, where you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels on a page, and like you're still telling a story, but it's a bit more inviting, a bit more dynamic.
I like that, but as if I was ever to draw a page, I couldn't do that. I don't know why that doesn't jive with
I
my
agree with
artistic
you.
brain.
I'm not there yet.
You have to be brave, I think.
Yeah.
And
And the grid is so efficient. Like
Yes.
if you set up a grid, you can tell so much story and you can pace it so much better. But
I guess that's the thing.
Definitely
Is I
exciting.
know all the rules to this stuff, but there are a few things that I don't know the rules to. In a page like that, it's like I don't know the rules to that, and it doesn't really matter. If it works, it works. But like,
yeah.
as somebody who's studied this medium for a zillion years, like that's just a page I can't wrap my mind around.
Yeah, always a treat to look at some vintage Neil Adams with Tom Palmer on inks.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my book. I don't know how I got it, honestly.
So you own this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean we can do that.
It's a JCPenney reprint.
Yeah, that's
I
another
guess,
thing I don't
too.
know about. Martin brought this up. A JCPenney reprint. Now, this isn't like Whitman Comics that were doing the DC something in the 70s.
Oh,
It was
got so
a
much.
Whitman prints for DC Comics. Just a different logo in the upper in the box there. But I'm totally losing my train of thought here. The JCPenney reprints. I have no idea what those are.
Kelly Jones.
I grabbed it. Yeah, Kelly Jones.
Jones.
Just because Kelly Jones.
Shout out. Love that man.
Kelly Jones and Kyle Hotz, the descendants kind of why am I blanking on his name? Classic horror artist, worked with Stephen King, comic artist, did Frankenstein prints, the etchings. Why am I blanking on him? It's not Barry Windsor Smith.
I feel like this never happens to you.
Bernie
Wrightson.
Wrightson.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm glad I got that one after
Thank
my
you.
stumbling through the
Shout out.
JCPenney reprints.
Shout out to
Thank you. Usually my recall
Bernie-
is pretty good.
Bernie Wrightson, he's nasty. He's really good.
Shaman Steers. I like Mike Grell, but like the coloring on his stuff makes his stuff look so bad.
Hey, where was the Fat Albert? There was a message.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Banacor
talk. We're not
wants
gonna go.
to dive
No?
more into Fat Albert there.
Nah, like look how much better that is in black and white. Like, Mike, you don't need color. Do a Terry Moore.
I want to see the Fat Albert cover.
Well, I mean, we can. I guess you can look at it. There it is.
Hot dishes and sandwiches.
And the Cosby Kids.
That's kind of why I'm hesitant to discuss that.
Yeah, let's not.
And the Jello pudding, Rudy.
Oh, jeez.
Martin threw that one in there.
Jupiter's
too.
Legacy. I like Tommy Lee Edwards. He's fun.
Yeah, I do like the artwork in Jupiter's Legacy, from what I've read.
Heroes Union. What is
Fantastic.
Oh, Heroes
book.
Union. Open that book. This is the future of comics, actually.
That's
This is
actually
something that's very interesting.
the binge age?
The binge. So if you look on the back of the book, I think that there's an individual. Each book is unique in regards to the serial number that's printed on the book.
003902.
Every book is a one of one. This is the future of collectibles, actually, and I think they're going to do this with magic cards as well. Is the rumor that eventually you'll just have a unique number printed on a card that will make your card different than everyone else's. You have a comic book with a number on it that maybe as a collector you want to seek out one of the first 100 of the prints. What does this all mean? I don't know. But binge comics, a very interesting concept there. Every comic is a one of one because of that unique little marker. And also, they went back and they got a lot of old Marvel talent.
We got Ron Friends and Stel Buscema.
Yep. David Michelinie. I never knew how to pronounce his name until the publisher of this company cold called me and explained the concept with what they were doing and the creators that they were working with. And that's why I ordered a few of these books.
You know, I do think that a lot of these creators are taken for granted, like your Ron Friendses and your Sal Buscemas, who
Yep.
are kind of like your company guys.
Sal Buscema, who celebrated his 86th birthday the other day.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Sal Buscema. I think that was within the past week.
Like a huge unsung hero. Like people usually think of John Buscema when you hear Buscema, but like his stuff is a bit more angular.
I
Which
like Sal stuff. We were looking at some spectacular covers a
Yeah.
few months ago, and they're really slick.
Yeah, like he was way better than he gets credit for. Like I like John Buscema, but I think that Sal's a bit more adventurous. I think that he was, you know, and he was working fast too because he had something to prove, and I respect that. But you get some Roy Thomas shout out. Did Roy Thomas write this or Roger Stern wrote it? Okay, yeah. Sal Inker, Sal
Stern.
Buscema, Chris Nye.
What do I know
Penciler
that
Ron
name?
Friends. Ron Friends is another Pittsburgh guy.
What's Roger Stern? What's he done?
Well, I did a bunch of Spider-Man, I think, in the 70s. I
Maybe
mean, he's
that's
done
where
all
I know
he's
it.
done all kinds of
That's where I know
stuff.
his name from.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Yep, Spider-Man.
But probably best known for Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think
Like,
he created
that's
Hobgoblin. But yeah, that's
Voiced by Mark
interesting.
Hamill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I did not know. You didn't know it, or because I knew it was Mark Hamill.
Well, I haven't listened to the Spider-Man cartoon in so long. We're just sitting in the
Well-
back eating lunch, and I'm like, boy, Hobgoblin sounds exactly like Mark
Well,
Hamill.
like when I did like a week ago now, when Martin had the show on, I knew it was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And I made a joke or something, and he must have thought I didn't think it was Mark Hamill, and then he didn't know it was Mark Hamill. I'm like, how do you not know it was Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Can you kick Jonathan out of the chat for making fun of us for the fact that we just discovered that Mark Hamill is Hobgoblin?
Come on, John, dude.
I mean, I had seen it described to me in a
I
YouTube video.
immediately when I heard his voice, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Mark Hamill. I mean,
But you guys want to do one more?
Yeah. Lucas, you want to do one more?
I gotta pee.
One more. We'll make it quick.
Real quick, we got a comment. Have you guys ever thought about having Professor Rach? Yes, we have. I'm gonna send him an email. I've had him for 2 classes. Yeah, he's wrote a few comics for Marvel and DC. He's yeah.
It's the
All right.
one that I want to.
Yeah, Ed Brubaker and
Very much in my
Phillips, yeah.
wheelhouse here. The Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Incognito. This might have been the book that got me hooked into their ecosystem. I think it was actually. So this is a story of a deep cover superhero guy who's he's posing as a villain. Look at that interior cover too.
Yeah.
Like with it, I just love that texture that Sean Phillips brings to
Sean Phillips.
his
Great
work.
guy.
And the colors on Incognito are
Love 'em.
great. There's a collected edition. It's an omnibus hardcover, I think, that they have at the comic shop.
We do,
that I bought it from here, and it is a beautiful edition, and it's got everything in there. Oh, I think there's some naughty things in here.
Don't we have Incognito, like the volume of it now, hardcover?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
We
I bought
definitely
it. I bought it from here.
No, I think we have another one though. No.
Um,
I'm almost positive.
Well, it's probably the same edition, maybe just an additional copy. But I love these white borders that they use. This is when I started to see people not use hard lines for their grids. To see this is an example of how efficient the grid can go. Like
Yes.
those diagonals are great, but like look at all the rhythms and stuff you can set up and the colors in this thing. Some great flat color, like just a very limited modeling. Like you might have like a light skin tone and a dark skin tone.
Yeah, I love the color.
Very efficient, very good looking stuff. Oh, and I love this little the villain guy here. So great. We're talking about that other guy being a
It's
creep.
just misunderstood.
Just like the Joker.
It's maybe the same character, just like
It
decades
really,
later.
it really is the same character. That's kind of funny.
It's funny these connections that we make, and the little domino
I
mask
really love
here.
the coloring. It reminds me of
Yeah.
like Watchmen coloring, where
The Watchmen.
the Watchmen. I'm
The
sorry.
vibrancy of
Yeah,
it,
where like
because of your
you-
oranges and your greens.
it will
and your
cover
reds.
the entire the entire person. I feel like
You're
you know.
correct. Yeah,
And I especially the Watchmen.
a lot of secondary colors in
I
the
just
Watchmen.
love that.
But-
The Watchmen is probably my favorite. Probably my favorite
Ooh.
art. I think by far.
Oh, I didn't know that they had this artwork of the shadow in the back. This is phenomenal.
You
here.
mean Shadow?
The shadow,
No, I
like
think it's
the
just
pulp hero.
No, I think it's just Shadow.
All right.
Okay.
You want to plug anything? Or play a bumper.
Well,
Yeah,
let's plug
let's bump
Lowe's
it up.
first. We could shop at Lowe's. Yeah, we are offering free in-home estimates now.
For what?
Anything.
Variety of installations. I'm legally obligated to say that now on the show. So yes, once again.
Now, what are
at
we getting
Lowe's-
from Lowe's for all this?
Hold on. At Lowe's, we're offering free in-home estimates, measurements, whatever you want to call them, same thing, for a variety of installation. Doors, windows, siding, fences, frickin' playhouse, you name it.
Insulate
got
your
it.
fences.
Please. So yeah, if you want to do that, just say Lucas said so whatever, and that helps me out quite a bit. Shout out to Lowe's. All right, let's play bumper. New.
What's new? Gaming. What's
Stop. Oh, that doesn't do anything. Let's do this. Oh,
Join all of your favorite friends like Martin, Joe, Evan, and even Lucas at The Comic Shop. On this week's very special episode, Alex builds a brand new display for the store, but has he gone too far? And watch out for Aaron as he decides to become a real-life superhero and hijinks ensue. The Comic Shop. Tuesdays at 5 on ABZ.
I'm getting very confused with how deep we're going into the Lowe's plugs here. But
don't understand.
Aaron, do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh yeah, I mean I've got issue 1 through 8 of Wesley the Robot available at the comic shop. I've got Pizza's Pizza also available at the comic shop. The Human Son of a Living Pizza Man Must Fight Evil Anchovies. The Wesley the Robot book is the Iron Giant meets College Radio.
LT Provolone. He's like Judge Dredd with a cheese on his head.
creep of the
right.
crop of the creep,
Creep of the
craptacular creep show.
Crop of the Creeps, Craptacular Crop Show.
Dang, it's so close.
One
of these days.
Creep of the Crops, Crop of Creeps, Craptacular Crop Show is available also at the comic shop. That's my 30-page zine for $5. It's a good bargain. Also available at the comic shop. Yeah, issue 9. I've been working on it. I'm aiming for a late fall release of this year. We'll see. It's a monster. It's 58 pages, which is like over twice as big as any of the longest issues I've done so far. But it's paced out. I'm setting up all the panels. All the events are set. The pages are locked in. It's just fine tuning everything on every page.
It's awesome.
And
That's
it's wild. Everything has been ratcheting up from issue 1, and this is the payoff. I'm very excited when that comes out. And I'll talk more about that when we get there.
Comic Shop Makes a Comic coming to you soon in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
We will have more information soon. Comic Shop Makes a Comic 3, Alternate Realities. Yeah, and I think that's
Could I plug one more thing?
yeah.
Just Billy Joel. He's you can listen to his music on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, you name it.
Now, is he a piano man?
He's a pianist.
He's something. Oh, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
She is a very nice lady.
I bet Martin snuck that one in there too.
Wow, he did. He definitely
Deadly Foes
did.
of Spider-Man, one of the first comics I ever read.
Yeah, we could just keep going on and on. Oh man, yeah, we could.
Yeah, shop at Lowe's, folks. Like I said, we are offering free in-home estimates right now, and I think it's an ongoing thing forever. Like I said, for a variety of installations. Shop at the comic shop too. It'll be cool.
Mr. Lee, you want to take us home?
You've been listening to The Comic Shop Does a Comic.
Or a podcast.
Or a podcast. Whatever we're doing here. We're doing something. I'm Aaron Z. Lee.
I'm Lucas Brewer.
And I am Evan Coy. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.